Evening, drone. Good, your audio is loud and clear. And I'm seeing your screen.
Good. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna share it because it looks a lot better quality than doing it the other way I was trying. All right, everyone. Good evening. My name is Daron, call sign K1DBC. Welcome to the Elmer session this evening. It's approximately 45 to 60 minutes, and then we'll have our regular meeting after that. This is just a great place to learn about ham radio, STEM topics. We have plenty of combined expertise and experience. So this is a show and tell, Q&A, whatever you'd like it to be. I can certainly bring up some stories and things that have come up here recently, but no check-ins required. No need to be a ham radio operator. If you have any comments, questions, let us know. I was just muted that whole time. Sorry, can you guys hear me now?
Yep, we hear you.
Okay. All right, sorry about that. My name is Daron. Call sign is K1DBC. Welcome everyone to the Denver Radio Club Elmer session. Just a general Q&A. Great place to learn about ham radio, STEM topics. We have plenty of combined expertise and experience. Show and tell, Q&A, whatever you'd like it to be. Approximately 45 to 60 minutes. What else there? I have some things I can bring up, but if anybody has any comments, questions, no need to be a ham radio operator, no license needed. So if anybody in the group has anything to bring up, please let us know. Just browsing through some things here. If you have any questions about what you're seeing, I probably have the same questions. Looks like this is looking at a photo. You should be seeing my screen as well. I am sharing that, and it looks like not seeing a model or anything immediately. Talking about 3 500Z tubes. I don't know what that sort of measurement is. I'll have to come back to that. A tube amplifier.
Almost
looks
like a
maybe.
Heathkit linear, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Linear or something, you said?
A linear amplifier.
Oh, okay. does look similar to that, doesn't that? So, yeah, putting out, is it 350 extra watts, it looks like here? Or it says voltage in kV, kilovolts. So that is pretty high, 3 kilovolts. Yeah. What else? If anybody has anything, please let me know. I guess recent news. It looks like somebody asked a question here. Let me go back to that. You can put a question if you want into the chat, or put your voice over the air. It'd be not a problem as well. Yeah, it looks like yep, an SB200. Yep, something like that. Okay. Yeah, 500, 300, and 500 watts, something like that. So it's quite a bit of extra power if you're trying to get all the way across the world, or out to the International Space Station, or things like that, or making satellite contacts. Something like that would definitely be helpful. Jeez. Cool. Yeah, thanks for everyone for being here. Recent event that took place over the weekend was the Rocky Mountain Ham Radio Nerd Fest. It was in the Cherry Creek, one of auxiliary buildings. If you belong to any of the local Aries groups or things like that, it's a pretty common meeting room. Quite a few presentations here. Power chip replacement for KPC3, Elcantronics, TNC there. Looks like a WinLink in a box, KiCad PCB design, Doppler direction finding, missing ground plane, SDR tricks, and Samlex power pole mod. All on their YouTube, about 3.5 hours of different presentations here. So pretty neat.
Stuff like that. But I'd never really done a really complicated board design. So
And this information is always available. You can go back and reference goals physically.
Yeah, TRP here. Yeah, I was catching up on my QST magazines and noticed an article about uninterruptible power supplies, for computers, and the author was using one on his radio setup too. And I thought about that, but since my rig runs off of a 30 amp switching power supply, I've just wondered about the need for a UPS or the wisdom of using that. I suppose if the power went out, give you a few more minutes to gracefully shut down or gracefully into QSO. But just curious if anybody's using a UPS for their radios. Obviously, I don't think it's going to work well on a high power rig, but or amplifier. But just curious there if anybody's using a UPS on their radio equipment.
This Larry. I do on mine. I'm only running 100 watts on HF, but I have used it on the UPS as a backup, and it's uninterrupted, and it works just fine.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for the feedback. I appreciate that.
And to run a lot of times, like in our application, it bridges the gap between, when your line's power is interrupted and you switch over to generated power.
Yeah, that's the case for me. That's the case for me is I have a whole house generator, so all the UPSs are for is to keep power up on all the things that are critical until the generator kicks in, which will be about a minute when it's back up in full power.
What fuel to use for your whole house generator?
It's can run natural gas or propane.
Oh, okay.
And I'll give you an example. Like at the sheriff's office, when I was the communications unit manager, the UPS held up the central floor, which was all of the radios and computers and what have you on the central floor, but none of the perimeter was on the UPS, so it wouldn't put excessive load on, the transfer and the UPS for lighting.
Yeah, sorry about the low audio. Is this any better? Okay. Okay.
And the lesson I learned go ahead. The lesson I learned long ago with standby power is when I used to operate pumping stations and water treatment plants was they have to be tested periodically. And that means not just doing the test on the transfer switch, but actually throwing the main to make them do a physical transfer. And that's kind of like the real test as to whether systems will work.
Yeah, I do that once a year, and of course the generator exercises itself every week for about 20 minutes. But once a year, I'll throw it and see what happens, make sure it works okay. And of course, we have power outages probably at least once per year, a power outage. So that's a real test. And I've been out in the field with setting up a portable station, and I've had a UPS and a generator. And so I had the generator and the UPS plugged into the generator, and then the radio plugged in the UPS. And if the generator runs out of gas, then you can still hear anything going on, or quickly say, I'm going to be, offline for a couple minutes. I got to put gas in the generator. And so at least you're still kind of in communication with whoever you're talking to from your portable station.
Another lesson we learned years ago the hard way, and one agency had a UPS that didn't have a bypass. You always need to put in a bypass so that if you need to service a UPS, you can take it out of the circuit, and whether you're changing capacitors or batteries or whatever. and this did not have a bypass. And the technician that was trying to service it dropped a wrench and blew the thing up, and the whole comm center was dead. It was bad.
All great. We say all great input. Thank you very much.
hopefully hear that.
NOA-18 is no longer visible.
Looks like they have some text-to-speech for some different things in their satellite tracking.
Charlie, runway 27 left, clear for takeoff, 340 degrees, 11 maximum, 21 knots.
And using that information to plot it into real-time mapping software. So pretty cool stuff here. Here's some of the specifics on that. Latest video demonstration, they show these 3D maps projecting NOAA weather satellite images onto a 3D globe, and at the same time tracking the NOAA satellites over the globe as it produces imagery. They also show, which we were just looking at there, is the software visualizing a 3D model of aircraft on the globe using live ADS-B transmission data to show aircraft manufacturers maneuvers, when taking off, cruising, and landing. With multiple software-defined radios, they also show how the visualization can be combined with air traffic voice. They also show marine vessels being visualized via live AIS data. Wide range of vessel 3D models implemented. So, yeah, if you have any interest in aviation, this is another pretty cool thing to look into as well. All right, my name is Daron, K1DBC. Look, Kevin Schmidt had posted in a link here. Sorry, Skywarn class coming up. If you have any interest in that, the NOAA Skywarn spotter class, upcoming March 14th. Quite a few actually here. A little bit out of the way, but yeah, weather.gov/BOU for Boulder, /spot_training. Provided by Scott Enterkin. He has previously presented a similar class to us for a monthly meeting. So really interesting stuff. You'll get a Skywarn spotter number after it and learn quite a bit and be able to contribute. I guess the information here I should read. All training is free and open to the public. You can be certified Skywarn severe weather spotter by attending one of these training events. National Weather Service will count on you to be their eyes out in the field when trying to verify severe weather across the northeast Colorado. National Weather Service in Boulder warns for 22 counties, and your reports are very helpful to them as they make warning decisions on severe thunderstorms. To schedule training or request more info, you can contact scott.enterkin at noaa.gov. Each spring, they offer spotter training from March through May. From June through the summer, due to severe weather, National Weather Service resources are limited, not really readily available for training during those times, June through summer. They'll try to accommodate as additional training as needed. So, yeah, plenty of upcoming training here. Looks like every few days here for the next couple of months here. All right. What else? Does anybody else have any comments, questions, anything else you'd like to bring up for this evening's Learning Net or Elmer session? Let me know.
Hey, Daron.
Hey, go ahead.
This is Mark.
Mark.
Figured I'd bail you out here a second and show you what a rabbit hole that I went down this past weekend that might be kind of interesting.
Yeah, you want to share your screen?
Can I do that?
Yep, go ahead.
Let's see. There we go. All right. All right, you can see that, I'm sure?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know how I got down this rabbit hole, but this was a Raspberry Pi Cyber Deck, and I didn't even know this was a thing. But Cyber Deck apparently is a thing. And so this is one that got me going down that rabbit hole. This particular build is built on a a case that you can get at Harbor Freight. Has a 3D printed cover around the face of the display, and this particular display is a touch screen. It runs on some lithium-ion batteries that this guy particularly pulled out of one of those battery pack type things. He goes through the entire build, talks about the screen and what type of screen it is, and different kinds, how he steps down the voltage to support the Pi. He's running a Pi 4 right here. And it turns into a wiring nightmare. You could probably do a better job there. But in the end, it's a lightweight, standalone. Oh, the keyboard is a USB keyboard that fits in the lid. So when I saw this, I was thinking I'd build it. Then I priced out everything, and it was right around $300. If I could get a Pi 4 right now, if you haven't tried to get a Pi, it's almost impossible. So then I searched for Pi cyber decks, and there are a ton of different designs out there. Some of it's really crazy, like this one that he went out overboard on the screens. I like some of this really small stuff. It's just the basics, all you need.
Yeah.
And what I was looking for was something that I can include in a WinLink, a Go bag or something that was really lightweight, because WinLink doesn't run. I mean, it doesn't take much power, even though the Raspberry Pi has a lot of power associated to it. But the big problem was, as you get into this, you're spending $400, $500, $600 on this thing. While it looks cool, you can go to Micro Center and pick up a laptop for $300, $400. So, yeah, I mean, if you're bored and you want to build a project, that might be a way to go. But anyway, that was my rabbit hole this weekend, and then I got out of it by Tuesday.
Okay. That's funny how that works. Yeah. Yeah, those do look really cool, but then once you unfortunately get the pricing out, it doesn't add up sometimes for something like that until you have maybe a more practical purpose, of course. Yeah. WinLink. Yeah, I've seen some amateur radio ones a little bit. Let me see if I can bring some up here, but those are cool looking for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I had an extra 500 laying around, it wouldn't be. I mean, it's kind of cool to build. It's kind of fun, but man, I don't have that kind of fun. I'd rather buy a radio at that point.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And does it run Linux, Mark, or what's the
OS? BSD, Linux, or whatever Pi version you want to run on them. Some of them actually have a little mini. Some of the ones I saw had a little mini switch in it, AV switch, that you can run the Linux, or they had that small Windows. What do they call it? UN something. It's a small little. It's just like a Raspberry Pi, but it's for Windows. Those are really expensive too. But anyway, there's all kinds of versions out there. So if you're into the minimalist stuff, there you go.
Yeah, a lot of them were just like a Raspberry Pi, and then I think saying some like FT8 or certain things like that. And
yeah, that would work.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. And they're just a nice, just like really kind of futuristic style computer, essentially, just a very stylized in very certain different ways. So very customizable. No two are the same. Let's see.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Android tablets, you can interface that with, you can do FT8 off of that too. So there's a lot of field operations availability when it comes to emergency communications, things like that. This is the guy, OH8 s.t.e.m, I think. Maybe. Yep.
It's nice to believe.
As kind of a Go box, as we've kind of definitely talked about a lot in the past, and kind of just upgrading them a little bit with newer technology, and yeah, it's really, really cool stuff here. So, what else? Have another 25 minutes or so. Please don't hesitate to chime in if you have anything that's a cool project. And maybe that inspires somebody else out there to try something or something like that. Here's maybe this will bring up some better images here, but yeah, just FT8 on one of these, and yeah. So, what else? What else? Yep. Nice little wireless keyboard there, it looks like. Raspberry Pi. Yeah, with the chip shortage, I wasn't sure how that affected Raspberry Pi group, but that's too bad that the availability isn't up there still.
Yeah, I tried a lot, and there was only one place that I could actually reserve it, and they're expecting shipment somewhere around March 1st was the one. I think it was MakerBot. I think is that it? I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
No, it was Adafruit. Adafruit
Oh,
had
okay.
them
Yep.
that you could pre-order them. The only things that are available are like complete packages.
Oh, you can't get the board alone. It's a whole
Right.
kit and stuff. Okay.
Where you spend $200 and you get the power supply and you get the case and you get everything.
You just want the thing itself. Yeah.
Yeah, if you just want to pay the $30 for the board,
Yeah.
It's just hard to find.
Yeah. Notify me.
Yep.
Yep. Out of stock.
Even the small stuff, even the Pi Zeros,
Pi Zeros.
and the Pi Zero 2 is still. I mean, none of that stuff is available. That's crazy.
Wow.
So if anyone has them, maybe go to the Swap Fest
Yeah.
this Sunday, and you might be able to make a
some
few
profit
bucks.
off of it. Yeah. That's funny. I have one of the original ones from 5, 6, 7 years ago, something like that. Yeah, that's funny. Wow, interesting. Yep, chip shortage is still out there. Supply chain shortages and their first ever price increase. You know, it's been hitting auto manufacturers. It's been hitting everyone. So, Broadcom, who owns Raspberry Pi, is no exception to that. So, yeah, it's one of their things. This is all temporary. Now, these are palatable decisions. Let's see. Quite a long article here, yeah. And definitely every well-trodden ground, things we've spoken about and we've known about for quite a while. And now it's hitting consumer electronics and these dev board / single board computers or things like that. So even more time to get into kit or just building from scratch, breadboarding, and get breadboard kit. It'll come with a myriad of jumpers and LEDs and stepper motors and all sorts of stuff, and plenty of stuff out there to try. Arduino wise, I don't know if that's an issue, but I know Micro Center seems to have a lot of Arduinos all the time. So yeah, just another market. Okay. I guess on that, real quick. I mean, I'm not an electrical engineer or a schematic engineer design. I don't do any of this stuff. I listen to, and so what they try to do to avoid problems like this is be able to swap out certain chips from different manufacturers and things like that. So there's a lot of different techniques that the professionals use to try to avoid these sorts of things, but they're not building boards like this, or they're not buying boards like this. They're buying mass quantity of little circuits and things like that. So that's all that I had really on that. What else? We have 20 minutes here. If anybody has any comments, questions, anything else for this evening's Elmer session, please let me know. Check the chat here.
I have another project that I'm working on that it's an old problem that maybe others have already experienced this. I have a lot of aviation headsets I'm a pilot, and that's one of the things you collect when you're a pilot. Like in ham radio, you collect radios. When you're a pilot, you collect headsets. So I was trying to figure out a way to adapt the aviation headsets to some of my radios, and found out that this isn't a new problem. In fact, when I got the new ARRL, I forget what it's called, the series of books, there was a companion, used to be a CD, but now you download it. They give you a number, and you can download it off their website with this code. So what I found is the information that's in that download has better information than what's even in the book. But anyway, one of the things, I was just perusing through it after I spent months trying to figure out and design a circuit to make my aviation headsets work. Sure enough, there was an article in a QST, I don't even know when, it doesn't have a date on it, where two people made two different designs, and they show their circuits on how to make that work. One uses actually a battery to power or offset the load, and the other one, it just uses a bunch of capacitors in it that uses the power off of the radio, and the capacitors knock it down. So anyway, I don't know if anyone else has ever used an aviation headset in a ham radio, but I ordered all the parts. I haven't put it together yet. That'll be next. Yeah, that's one of the designs that I was originally looking at.
Are they carbon mics, Mark, or what are they?
Yeah, they are. Well, it's a high Z. It's really high resistance, and they're really good in the sense that they have great noise canceling microphones. They're fantastic because it's a loud environment, and the earphones are quiet as well. And generally, I fly with them for 3, 6 hours, 8 hours, and they do get a little tight and uncomfortable after a while. But I've struggled with amateur radio headsets trying to find good ones that don't make your head hurt after a couple hours. So that's why I was going that route.
Plus, you have to make unintelligible AM transmissions, right?
Yes. Yeah. Very fast and mumble.
I've always wondered the same thing too. It would seem like aviation headsets would make a great great addition to a ham radio shack.
Yeah.
And I mean, pilots say, they do go on extended flights, but probably not to the extent that you could sit in a comfortable place and operate your radio.
Yeah. So that was my plan. I've got, like I said, I got all the parts, and I'm going to try to put it together, and I'll keep you posted on how that project goes. I just don't know if anyone else has experienced it or if they know of. I haven't found. Okay, someone has to have a great business idea. Sell an adapter. Just sell the little box. That's what I wish I could do, is just buy the box and be done with it, but I can't find that.
It's called a Heil element.
Yeah. There you go. Just swap out the element. I just have to adapt the plugs, because the aviation plugs are, one's 1/4 inch and one's halfway between 1/8 inch and 1/4 inch. It's like 3.6 or 3.5 or something like that. Or just cut it off and just put 2/4 inches on there. But they're very expensive headsets. I think my cheapest one is $600, something like that.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hey, Mark, I've got a radio sport headset that I like real well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, radio sport. And,
I have this new one I just got that I'm wearing right now. I'm trying it for the first time tonight. So it's made by Razer. So we'll see.
Yeah, this is a radio sport, it's called. I think I bought it at Dayton, but they're online, It's
they look very much like an aviation.
Yeah, it really does. And it's well built, good cords, no cheapy stuff.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Yeah.
what I paid for it. It was real cheap, but it wasn't no $600.
Right. Well, you know what Dave Clark's cost these days. and-
David Clark. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was dealing with I was trying to figure out some audio integration issues between an XLR microphone and the radio, and there was some solutions, but it didn't work out for what I was trying to do. But yeah, there was a little bit of a rabbit hole trying to figure out how to connect a nice microphone into a radio, and similarly how to connect in your problem how to connect a nice headset into your radio as well. So yeah.
The other scary thing is, you know, you have a $600 radio and you want to hack it up and then stick it into a $1,000 radio and see if it works. You know, this thing that I built, plug it in and go, all right, let's see if this works.
Yeah. Hopefully you won't get any black magic smoke or whatever they say. Yeah.
I got that, Jim, or Jerry. I'm going to write that down.
Okay, I'll show you mine sometime when you're by here.
Okay. I was looking at the rugged radio headsets. I don't know if anyone's ever played with those. They seem to be, you know, they're kind of made for racing and off-road type stuff, but and they're decent. I mean, they're a couple $100 for some of them, but I don't know. I don't have any experience with them. It's supposed to have noise canceling mics and that kind of thing. Yeah, they also have that USB, or not USB, Bluetooth one that has a Bluetooth module that you plug into your radio, and now you have a Bluetooth headset that you can walk. Yeah, right up there on the top right.
Yeah.
Yeah, would be cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. That'd be a pretty neat solution. A little bit costly there.
Yeah, but $875.
Yeah.
You plug it into a $200 radio.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool stuff. One of the highlights over the QSO Today Ham Expo, their keynote talk from the past one was a racing team manager or something like that. So I'm sure they have a lot of interesting experience. I can't remember what that one was, but I'm sure there's definitely a lot of overlaps with audio technology and as you're finding aviation, and there's racing, and there's all sorts of better quality stuff we could use from different industries. So pretty cool stuff. All right, we have another 12 minutes or so here, and we'll go to the meeting. But does anybody have any other any last few things here for this evening's Elmer session? Again, just a general Q&A about electronics, ham radio, s.t.e.m, anything that's related to ham radio. There's plenty of stuff out there. He's sending this is a digital DATV. Oh yeah, digital amateur television transponder, and he's receiving it. So yeah, DATV is pretty huge, or not huge. It's pretty small compared to everything else, but we do have digital amateur television in Boulder, provided by one of the groups up there. Yeah, W0BTV, the Boulder, or BATVC, or what is the few call signs here, by one of the clubs up there though. Boulder Amateur Radio Television Club, W0BTV. Don't know if you can use just a standard software-defined radio thing for this. Might be able to. It looks like they're just using 70 centimeter and some pretty simple things here. But yeah, they do transmit television out of Boulder. Boulder County Aries uses it quite a bit. Back in the day, you used it for closed circuit television monitoring for the Boulder games, I believe. But they've running different missions now. So pretty interesting stuff there. And yeah, looking at the photo here of wherever that was. Quite a lot of stuff there on the screen. Oh, this was via a satellite. This was his own transmission via QO100. Whatever this is. SL2. Oh, a geostationary satellite SL2 with amateur radio transponders in it. And it is should link radio amateurs from Brazil to Thailand. And where does it actually sit? Looks like it sits, at least according to this photo, well, maybe just right above Africa. So he sent an image to the satellite and received it back. Kind of crazy stuff there. What else? Just a few minutes left here. Might be a good time to take a restroom break or grab a drink if you want. I don't know if it's Carl K9LA on here. If you want to do any testing, you're more than happy to do that.
I'm here.
Okay, yeah, if you wanted to do any testing just to make sure your screen share works or whatever, you could do that if you'd like.
Well, Jerry and I were doing that last night, and it was working pretty good, so we'll have to see what happens tonight.
Sounds good, yeah. Perfect. All right.
Not Jerry, Jeffrey. I'm sorry.
Jeffrey, yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what else? I've seen this radio before, the FT3DR touchscreen on the front. Looks like K7AKB here. Received this or recently purchased it. Say really really enjoying that. Oh, comment here by Larry. That satellite we were just looking at here, it's sitting at on the equator over Africa at 2,200,000 miles above the Earth. That's crazy. That is nuts. Yeah. What else? Last minute things here. Let's see. Somebody looks like they're asking a question in here about end-fed radio wire counterpoise. Answer here is configuration A and B are from an inverted L antenna, and C is from a horizontal dipole. All should have coax cable decoupled with a ferrite core choke after the coax routes away from the counterpoise. So different counterpoise options there. Somebody's asking about for Ed Van Radom. Yeah, let's see. Again, we have this similar net to this on Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. More information, W0TX.org. You can find on the net listing. It's right there in front of my face, and I can never find it. Wednesday nights, 7:30, Denver Radio Club Learning Net 145.490. Come check that out. We do stream and archive our nets online on youtube.com/K1DBC, my call sign. So if you missed any nets or meetings or anything like that, you're more than happy to check that out. What else? Any other last minute items anybody has? User tried to build a poor man's AX1, which I think is some sort of an antenna. A multi-band whip antenna by Elecraft. So yeah, probably very well made and maybe a little bit pricey there, but yeah, for their Elecraft series of products there. Trying to make it 20 meters lunchtime. They had a 1.3 to 1 SWR. Made their first contact to Arizona from their QTH in Oklahoma. So don't hesitate to try to make something, and you never know what will work. All right, this is K1DBC. Just a couple minutes left here. And here's a lesson in economy. If you're going to make a concrete structure for your antenna masts, don't use single 80-pound bags, as this person learned. I think 107 80-pound bags for some reason. But depending on your situation, they may not be able to drive right in to pour the concrete or hose it out, however that is. But feels good once something is done. But 80 times 107, that's you can do the math pretty easy on that. So, yep. People asking why didn't they just call a trunk pumped in? Minimum delivery, minimum orders, and yeah. So, if you ever have any future projects, yeah, definitely think about how you're going to do something like that. Just a couple minutes left. What else? Yep, another person trying to do the same thing here. Nice cozy looking photo here to probably wrap things up here. So yeah, if you have any just last minute questions, just a couple minutes left here, let us know, and we can help you.
On that first tower picture you showed, I can see why it used that many bags. That's way too much cement for a piece of RG or 25 tower. My God.
Yeah.
I kind of made the mistake when I lived out in Golden and did kind of the same thing. And oh man, but that's my tower is a 55-foot crank up, and it's made to spec, and it's 2.5 by 2.5 by 6 foot 6 inches, and the 6 inches is above the ground, and that was the factory spec. But man, I don't know how deep that is, but boy, you can see why it took him 107 bags of cement.
Yeah. Yeah, unless you're putting more weight onto it than just a standard couple ham radio coax cables, and I mean, depending on the antenna weight as well, though, I guess. So, yeah. All right, well, with that, we have just a minute left here. Appreciate everyone being here. Yeah. If you have any comments, questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. All our contact information is online. General information, W0TX at W0TX.org. DRC LearningNet at gmail.com. Elmer at W0TX.org. Groups.io/G/ham LearningNet. Don't hesitate to reach out, or even over the air. So with that, appreciate everyone checking things out. And we'll probably get the meeting started here in just a minute.